welcome to another video of Russia's war against Ukraine, or Russia's invasion of Ukraine, that continues on 9th of August 2023. There has been significant updates in Lyman frontline, where Ukraine's 14th Separate Mechanized Brigade has attacked in multiple directions towards the Russian advancing forces, which Russia claims to have repelled in this area. And I would like to remind you that the 14th Separate Mechanized Brigade has been recently deployed by Ukrainian in this area, and Ukraine has started building a new defense line across Oskil River to prevent the Russians from going across to attack in this direction in the Kupiansk area. In Kupiansk itself, Russia has updated that they have attacked this area with artillery and trying to make sure that the Ukrainian forces that are built up in this area are weakened with the shellings that continues in this direction as well. In Kurdyivka area, Russian reliable sources have said that there has been significant movement in this area, where a large number of Russian forces has built up recently, and Russia also has seen the troops advance in this area with a significant number of attacks ongoing in this area. And following that, we're going towards this Tursk direction, where Russia has reported that they were attacking the Lyman direction with a K-52 helicopters in this area. Also, there were a number of Russian attacks in the Lyman direction from Luhansk Oblast, and there were a significant number of updates from Russia as well, that they have continued to attack the vicinity of Turska to pin down the Ukrainians in this area. And also they were using at least 12 missiles in this area to attack the build-up of Ukrainian forces who are defending in this area. I would like to remind you that Ukraine has over the years built a strong defense lines in this area, so it's going to be very difficult for Russia to get across. However, they have managed to make it difficult for the Ukrainians to defend in this area, where Ukrainians would be forced to go across the Oskil River if Russia managed to go even farther and take this area in the vicinities of Dorvisky and others in this direction. And there were also a number of clashes in the Bakhmut areas, where Ukrainians were attacking in the Andreevka as well as Kurdimivka. Russian sources has reported, and Russia claims that both of the attacks were repelled. However, as you can see, there were a significant number of Ukrainian advances in this area, so Ukrainians are trying to probe the Russian defenses. There are a large number of Russian defenses along this line as well, so their aim is to weaken the Russian forces and try to get as close as they possibly can towards the first line of defense, which they could not manage in the last couple of months of their counter-offensives. Russia continues to monitor the areas with Russian drones, where they have used a Russian UAV in Chasiv Yar to inflict damages to Ukrainian forces that are stationed in this area. There were a number of attacks in Chasiv Yar by Russian UAVs when infantries were attacked, as well as an artillery armored vehicle was destroyed in Chasiv Yar. Russia Ministry of Defense has claimed in this area. Further down, if you go around Avdiivka, there were no significant updates in this area. However, Russian Ministry of Defense has reported that Russian UAVs attacked the forest line in this area, where Ukrainian has managed to get some success and tried to push back the Russian in this area of Pomorsky, and there were there was significant number of attacks by the Ukrainians in Donetsk area, where there were a large number of Ukrainian forces were involved. As you can see, 60th Mechanized Brigade, 17th Tank Brigade, 80th Assault Airborne Brigade, 23rd Mechanized Brigade, and the 5th Assault Brigade was involved in this attack in the Donetsk direction. And Russian Ministry of Defense continued to mention that they have managed to repel those attacks in this Donetsk direction. That was a significant large number attack from the Ukrainians, and Ukraine again failed to achieve, or what they're trying to do is to push back the Russians and to push forward towards the first line of defense. Going forward in Volodar direction, there hasn't been any significant updates in this area. However, as we go further left, in the Staromorsky area, where in recent times Ukraine has managed to push back the Russians in this area. However, they have continued to attack this small settlement of Uruzaina to make a pincer attack from multiple directions to get back the territory and to secure the flanks that's covering Staromorsky. They were unable to do that with a strong Russian buildup in this area, and Russia has been somehow successful in defending in this area. So there was another failure by the Ukrainian armed forces in this area. And there was also update from the Russian Ministry of Defense that they continue to shell the area of Staromorsky with the help of Russian drone reconnaissance, which easily detects and targets the Ukrainian forces in these areas with artillery strikes very frequently to pin down the Ukrainians and to slow down their progress, or to prevent them from re-attacking in this area again. And further left, there were some updates in this area in Robotyna, where Ukrainian were again trying to attack the Robotyna direction, which has been repelled by the Russian, as Ministry of Defense, Russian Ministry of Defense has reported. I would like to remind you guys that yesterday the Ukrainian forces of 47th Brigade has managed to shoot down a Russian Ka-52 helicopter in this area, and it was posted by the Ukrainian forces yesterday. So there was one of a few successes that Ukraine have seen in the last few days, and there hasn't been much developments in Pitikhatki area, where I would like to remind you that I have intentionally put a lot of tanks in this area, which is Pitikhatki area, which is also known the graveyard of tanks, where a number of armored vehicles and Western-made weaponry has come under intense Russian fire, and Ukraine advances has been destroyed in these areas with limited success in this area. Even though Ukraine has managed to push back the Russians along this area, they have managed to make any further progress because it's an open field, and Russian artillery system and the flamethrowers have been very active in these areas, where they managed to target and destroy a significant number of Ukrainian mechanized brigades that were trying to progress in this area. Also in Zaporizhia area, Russian Ministry of Defense mentioned that they have managed to destroy 3 of the MO depots that were supporting the 43rd Artillery Brigade, 44th Mechanized Brigade, as well as the 66th Mechanized Brigades in Zaporizhia area, so that they can weaken the Ukrainian advances in this direction, as well as preventing them from advancing further beyond the first line of defense. As we go down towards Kherson area, the Russian reliable sources has mentioned that in Kherson area there were a number of attempts by the Ukrainian during the night to cross across in this area, left bank of the Dnipro River. However, Russia supported the Ukrainians in this area and started shelling and bombing the Ukrainian positions. So Ukrainians were forced to stay back in this area. However, Russia also reported that Ukraine continues to shell the civilian areas of Kherson, which is justifiable as Russia continues to do the same, attacking the Ukrainian positions as well as Ukrainian civilian areas. So the Russian also mentioned they were bombing areas in Mykolaiv Oblast. So there's significant intensity from both sides in the last couple of days, and it's going to continue to grow in the next few weeks or so. We can see hostilities from both sides will intensify, and Russia would continue to defend its first line of defense that it has built, and Ukraine, as winter approaches, or rather summer is just about to finish, they will continue to struggle to regain Russian occupied territories, and Russia might choose to counterattack in multiple directions as well. So thank you for watching, and I will continue to bring more videos and updates to you as regularly as possible. Please like and share and subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Have a nice day.